The New York Knicks just made arguably the biggest trade of the offseason by acquiring Karl-Anthony Towns right before the start of training camp. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive on the film and break down KAT's skill set on both ends of the floor to see exactly how he's going to fit in New York. Now obviously the first thing we have to go over is KAT's 3-point shooting. Over the last 7 years, Towns is shooting over 40% from 3 with pretty high volume.
Perception is all out of whack.
As a shooter, Towns checks all the boxes, always catching with a solid base, having perfect hand placement on the ball, and getting the rock to a set point in one smooth motion. Now Towns does have more of a grounded set shot, but because he stands at 7 feet, he still has no problem elevating over contests, even if it's against some of the lengthiest defenders in the league. You'll see Anthony Davis here stunt down at the ball, and once it gets sprayed out to Towns, there's no way to recover back out and contest this shot. And on top of his height as a shooter, Karl also has no fat in his mechanics. Wherever he catches the ball, he's always getting it to his set point with no major dips or hitches. You'll see him here receive the ball on this pick and pop, and notice how he wastes no movement and gets the ball right to his set point to fire.
Memphis just did not come out and play at all at home at Towns.
So the combination of Towns being accurate, having size, while also having a quick trigger off the catch, makes him one of the best spot-up shooters in the league. Because if you help off him just slightly, or give him too much space on the catch, there's a pretty steep price to pay. And that by itself is going to make him a seamless fit in the Knicks spaced-out offense, while also making him a great floor spacer for Jalen Brunson. We already saw how effective KAT was as a spot-up threat with Anthony Edwards, and I see that pretty much being the same with Brunson. And while Jalen may not put the same kind of pressure on the rim that Ant does, he's still one of the best individual scorers in the game today, and he's going to pull some heavy defensive gravity, which will lead to these routine catch-and-shoot threes for KAT. And that floor spacing in return will also give Brunson more room to operate. Now KAT also has the footwork and balance to shoot on the move. He may not be the most aggressive cutter off the ball, but he does have the ability to work off some off-ball screening actions, where he can both blast off his picks to then settle his feet for an on-balance jumper. And this is going to add another element of floor spacing in the Knicks offense, because these pin down screens commonly pull these defenders out of the paint, which again gives more space for Brunson and New York's other slashers. And KAT's footwork also makes him a very effective pick and pop man, where again Towns can relocate out into open space to then organize his feet for quality looks. And I think it's safe to say that the KAT and Brunson two-man game is going to be a big staple in the Knicks offense next season. Now Towns is much more than just a perimeter scorer. He's also great at leveraging his outside shooting to create these drives off the catch. When attacking downhill, KAT has really good quickness for his size, where he can catch the defense off guard with these quick bursts. Plus he's also really good at reading angles and attacking into the defense's gravity.
He's super helpful off the bench, always a quality player.
Notice here how bladed this defender's stance is. So instead of attacking his top foot, KAT's going to simply take the straight line drive to his left, to then initiate contact with his inside shoulder to create this finishing window to his left. I also think KAT is great at picking up momentum with the ball by running through the pass and getting ahead of steam to charge downhill. We'll see him here trailing on the break, and watch him in stride catch and attack through this gap to his left. And from here, he's got the balance and control to pick up and find this finishing angle. We can see the same thing here, where KAT's again trailing the play, and he's going to attack right through this pass. And from well outside of the 3, he only needs one dribble to extend out and get this jam at the rim. When slashing towards the basket, Towns also has a pretty dynamic skill set. First, he's great at using these subtle pickups and strides, which he can use to slice past gap defenders or create a different finishing angle. This move here is super tough, where KAT initially attacks hard to his right, and when he gets this defender's hips to rotate and completely open up, he's going to get to this one-hand high pickup back across to his left. He's going to use that same pickup move here, where Towns this time is going to fake the handoff, then attack Giannis and drop full speed. And again, when he feels those hips open up, KAT's going to pick up right over him and extend into this finish. And Towns also has some different Euro steps in his bag, which again is really difficult to do being 7 foot and 250. We'll see him again here attacking hard downhill, and when he feels this defender leaning across his frame to his right, Towns is going to pick up into this right-left Euro step to then put up this soft high arcing left-hand finish. Cat also does some good work with his back to the basket. I wouldn't say he has magical footwork like Nikola Jokic or Embiid, but he still has the physicality to attack mismatches, while also having the touch to sink these extended out jump hooks. And Cat's shot making and speed also makes him an effective shot creator when facing up, where again he's got really good speed for his size. Now Cat does do most of his work on the perimeter as a spot up shooter or attacking closeouts, but his post game also allows him to punish teams for playing small ball. And because he's not going to be sharing the floor with another center like Rudy Gobert, we could see him playing on the block slightly more next season. But when looking at Cat's game from a bird's eye view, I think he's going to be nothing but a plus for the Knicks. Because the thing is, Towns can provide a ton of scoring without really stopping the ball or slowing down the Knicks offense. One of the downsides of Julius Randle's game was that he turned into a dribble-heavy isolation player. And the elephant in the room for New York was how is that going to pair with Jalen Brunson, who also needs the ball in his hands a lot in order to maximize his value. But you don't really have the issue with Towns. I think Cat does his best work knocking down spot-up threes and attacking rotations off the catch. And those are shots that typically find him in the flow of the game. Plus he also has some on-ball scoring juice in the mid and low post, so that hopefully the Knicks offense won't completely sink when Brunson's off the court. Now when moving on and looking at Cat's defense, this is where I think he made some big individual improvements last year. Now obviously Cat's size already makes him an effective interior defender, having the strength to hold the zone against the NBA's best post players, plus the size to offer some good rim protection. But what really impressed me was Cat's mobility. Towns last year had no problem stepping out and guarding elite perimeter scorers one-on-one, and we saw this in full effect in round 1 against the Phoenix Suns, where Minnesota let Cat guard Kevin Durant out on an island, and he was able to pretty effectively hold his own by stepping out and meeting Durant on the perimeter to then slide and funnel him into these difficult contested pull-ups. Towns was also elite at defending in scrambles, where he could aggressively show on screens, then rotate back over to his man and contain the ball.
Shot O'Neal, blast to the rim, left hand.
We'll see him here aggressively show at Luka on the screen, then slide across the court and completely eat up this PJ Washington drive. Now this type of scrambling and perimeter defense is going to be vital for the Knicks come playoff time, because we all know the team to beat in the East is the Boston Celtics. And what makes them so hard to guard is that they spread the floor with 5 shooters, which leaves the paint wide open for their drive and kick offense. And in order to defend that, you need 5 players on the court who can both hold their own on the perimeter, slide down to provide heavy help and gap, while also having the ability to scramble back out and recover on the perimeter. And obviously, for New York to have a center who checks all those boxes is going to be huge for them if they're matched up with the Celtics in the playoffs. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think of Karl-Anthony Towns' game. The Kids here.